The screen showed 4:59 a.m. Everyone was screaming. The theater shook as if something huge was walking under the floor. Blue emergency lights flashed again and again, making everything look broken and unreal. The movie screen cracked down the middle, sparks falling like rain. Then Freddy climbed out. Not the movie Freddy. The real one. His metal hands grabbed the edge of the screen, and he pulled himself into the theater with a loud crash. His eyes glowed bright blue as he looked around at the terrified people trapped inside. On the broken screen behind him, white letters burned for a few seconds. 5 Nights at Freddy's 9, only in cinemas, January 4th. The letters vanished. The exit doors slammed shut. Locked. A deep voice echoed through the theater. Final night begins now. The clock ticked forward. 5 a.m. Freddy lifted his head. And smiled. Earlier that night, January 4th felt normal. School had started again. The holidays were over. Everything felt quiet and boring, which is why the message felt so exciting. One night only. No streaming. No replays. Mark stared at his phone. This has to be fake. It's not, said Tyler, grinning. My cousin works near the theater. He saw the posters. Ava crossed her arms. That makes it worse, not better. Behind them, Noah kicked a rock across the sidewalk. Come on. It's just a movie. The old movie theater sat at the corner of the street, its sign flickering blue and white. Some letters were missing. The building looked darker than the others around it, like light didn't want to stay there. Ava slowed down. Why does this place look abandoned? But it's open, Tyler said, pointing. Lights are on. Inside, the lobby was silent. No music. No talking. Just the hum of the lights and the smell of old popcorn. A man stood behind the ticket counter. He didn't smile. 4 tickets, Mark said. The man slid the tickets forward slowly. Screen 9, they read. Once the movie begins, the man said, please stay seated. Noah laughed nervously. That's a weird rule. The man didn't respond. They walked into the theater. It was half full. Teenagers whispering. A few adults sitting alone. Everyone looked excited, but something felt off. The lights were already dim. Ava leaned close to Mark. I don't like this. The movie didn't start with previews. It started with a black screen. A slow beeping sound filled the room. Beep. 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 A digital clock appeared. 11:59 p.m. The clock changed. 12 a.m. The movie began. At first, it felt normal. Security cameras. Dark hallways. Freddy standing still on a stage. The sounds were slow and creepy, but expected. 10 minutes passed. Then someone stood up near the back. Is this supposed to be this quiet? The movie froze. The theater lights flickered blue. A few people laughed. Then the exit doors slammed shut. Hard. People gasped. Someone ran to the doors and pulled. Locked. The screen went black. White words appeared. No exit. No pause. Mark pulled out his phone. No signal. Ava whispered. Mark, something's wrong. The speakers crackled. A calm voice spoke. Welcome to night 1. Metal scraped behind them. Noah turned around. Did you hear? A loud bang hit the ceiling. Dust fell onto the seats. A vent near the front row started shaking. The screen flickered back on. The clock now read 12:08 a.m. The movie continued, but the sounds felt wrong. Footsteps sounded closer than the screen showed. Breathing felt real. The vent burst open. Something fell out. A metal arm hit the floor and twitched. People screamed. The arm dragged itself forward, fingers scraping loudly. Then the screen glitched. Static filled the theater. And Freddy stepped out of the movie. Now, in the present, Freddy stood in the aisle, taller than the seats. His metal body was scratched and broken, like he had been used too many times. His glowing eyes moved slowly until they stopped on Mark. Mark whispered. This isn't part of the movie. Freddy's head turned toward him. Like he heard. The speakers crackled again. Night 1 is complete, the voice said. Freddy took one heavy step forward. People ran. Seats flipped. Someone fell. Someone screamed and went silent. Mark grabbed Ava's hand. Run! They ran toward the side aisle. Tyler and Noah followed close behind. They reached the exit door. Mark slammed his shoulder into it. It didn't move. Behind them, Freddy laughed. A deep, broken sound that echoed through the theater. The screen turned on again, showing the theater from above like a security camera. A red dot blinked. Rec. A timer appeared. 12:10 a.m. Ava stared at the screen. It's watching us. Freddy suddenly moved faster. Mark turned to run. And the movie screen cracked open again. This time, it showed a long hallway. Bright lights. Cameras everywhere. Doors with warning signs. Words appeared. Security access. Final shift. The front doors burst open. Not to the lobby. To the hallway. Freddy stopped and pointed. Proceed, the voice said. The timer kept counting. And the hallway lights turned on. The hallway lights buzzed as they turned on. Bright white. Too bright. Mark stood frozen at the doorway, staring into the long hallway that had opened where the theater doors used to be. The walls were smooth and clean, nothing like the old theater. Cameras lined the ceiling, their lenses turning slowly, following every move. Behind them, Freddy stayed in the aisle. Watching. Ava's hand trembled in Mark's. I don't want to go in there. Tyler swallowed hard. Look behind us. The theater was dark now. Completely black. Only the faint blue glow of Freddy's eyes could be seen between the rows of seats. Something metal scraped softly in the shadows. The calm voice spoke again, filling the hallway. Please proceed to the security area. Remaining here is unsafe. Noah shook his head. This is insane. Mark took a breath. We go. Now. They ran into the hallway. The doors slammed shut behind them with a loud boom. The sound echoed again and again, making Mark's ears ring. The air felt cold, like a freezer. Every step echoed loudly. The cameras above clicked as they followed the group. Ava whispered, This feels like a real place. It is a real place. The voice replied calmly. This is Freddy Fazbear's security operations. Tyler stopped walking. You're lying. I do not lie, the voice said. The hallway split into two paths. One glowed blue. The other glowed red. A screen lit up on the wall. Choose path. Blue, security check. Red, performance floor. Noah pointed to the blue path. Security sounds better. Or it's a trick, Ava said. Behind them, something slammed against the closed doors. Once. Twice. Harder than before. Mark didn't wait. Blue! They ran. The blue hallway was narrower. The lights were softer, but the walls felt closer, like they were slowly squeezing in. At the end was a metal door with a glowing hand symbol. Tyler pressed his palm to it. The door slid open with a hiss. Inside was a small control room. Screens covered every wall, showing different camera angles. The theater. The lobby. The hallway they had just left. One screen showed Freddy. He was moving now. Slowly walking toward the hallway door they came from. A digital clock glowed above the screens. 12:30 a.m. Text appeared below it. Shift 2 active. Ava frowned. Shift 2? The voice returned. You are now responsible for system balance. A new message flashed. Task, maintain power. In the middle of the room stood a tall lever. It shook slightly, like it was barely holding together. Mark grabbed it. This controls the lights. I know it. He pulled the lever down. The lights flickered. On the screen, the theater lights turned on for a moment. Freddy froze mid-step, one foot lifted off the ground. Tyler gasped. It stopped. A loud warning beep echoed. Power draining. The lever shook harder. Noah pointed at another screen. Look! On a camera showing the ceiling, something crawled past the lights. Smaller than Freddy. Faster. Its eyes glowed blue as it moved upside down. Ava whispered, "There are more of them." The lights flickered again. The voice spoke softly. "Darkness increases activity." The lever snapped upward. The room went dark. For 1 second. Then red emergency lights turned on. On the screen, the smaller animatronic dropped from the ceiling and landed right outside the control room door. Its head twitched as it stared straight into the camera. Ava screamed. "It's right there!" The screen flashed. Task failed. Retry required. Mark slammed the lever back down with all his strength. The lights burst on. The animatronic froze inches from the door, its metal fingers stretched forward like it was about to grab the handle. Everyone froze too. The clock changed. 1 a.m. Tyler laughed nervously. Okay, it worked." The voice returned. "Acceptable performance. Proceed to the next sector." A door on the far side of the control room slid open, revealing another hallway. This one was darker, lit only by blue lights along the floor. Mark shook his head. "I don't like that word. Sector. You are progressing as designed," the voice said. Behind them, the screens flickered. The frozen animatronic's finger moved. Just a little. "Go!" Noah shouted. They ran through the open door. The hallway sloped downward. Warning signs covered the walls. Old posters of Freddy and other animatronics were taped up, scratched and torn. The floor vibrated with a low hum that Mark could feel in his legs. At the end of the hallway was a large room. A stage filled the far wall. Animatronics stood on it. 9 of them. All white. All smiling. All perfectly still. Ava whispered, "Don't move." The door behind them slammed shut. Locked. A screen above the stage turned on. Final performance mode. Please remain still. Blue spotlights turned on one by one. The animatronic's eyes lit up. Blue. 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 One animatronic stepped off the stage. Then another. The lights went out. And something whispered Mark's name from right behind him. Mark stopped breathing. The whisper came again, closer this time. "Mark!" The voice sounded wrong. Like metal trying to sound friendly. Ava squeezed his hand so hard it hurt. Tyler and Noah stood frozen, eyes wide, mouths open but silent. The blue spotlights flickered back on. The animatronics were closer now. Much closer. They stood in a wide circle around them, 9 tall shapes with glowing blue eyes. Their smiles never changed. Their heads tilted slowly, one by one, like they were curious. A soft ding echoed through the room. The screen above the stage changed. 1:01 a.m. Final night, active. One animatronic lifted its arm. Another turned its head toward Ava. A third took a slow step forward. Mark shouted, "Run!" They ran. The animatronics did not rush. They followed. Heavy. Slow. Certain. A door slid open on the right side of the stage, glowing blue. Mark pulled Ava toward it. Tyler and Noah followed, their footsteps loud and uneven. The door slammed shut behind them just as metal hands slammed against it. The hallway beyond was narrow and dark. Blue lights ran along the floor, flickering like they were about to die. Tyler panted, "Where are we now?" A screen on the wall turned on. Security level final. The calm voice returned, but it didn't sound calm anymore. It sounded tired. Angry. "You have reached the last shift," it said. "Very few complete it. That's not helping," Ava yelled. The hallway opened into a large control room. Bigger than the others. Screens covered every wall. Buttons, switches, and cables filled the room. In the center was a thick glass window. Mark stepped closer. Below the glass was a huge open space, filled with animatronics. Dozens of them, standing shoulder to shoulder, all looking up, all smiling. Noah whispered, "They were waiting for us." A digital clock appeared on the main screen. 2 a.m. Text flashed underneath. Task: survive until morning. 3 large switches were labeled. Lights. Doors. Sound. The lights switch shook. Mark grabbed it and pushed it up. The room brightened with a cold blue glow. Below the glass, several animatronics froze. Tyler ran to the door's switch and pulled it up. On one screen, thick metal doors slammed shut around the lower room. Ava pointed to the last switch. "The sound!" A low hum filled the control room. It made Mark's head ache. Below, animatronics began to move again. "Turn it off!" Noah shouted. Mark slammed the sound switch up. Silence. The animatronics froze. Everyone breathed again. The clock changed. 2:45 a.m. The voice spoke, quieter now. "They learn faster at night." The lights flickered. 2 switches dropped at the same time. Mark and Tyler rushed to push them back up. Below the glass, animatronics began stacking on top of each other. Climbing. Reaching. "They're coming up!" Ava cried. The control room shook. Something slammed into the door behind them. Once. Twice. Harder each time. A crack spread across the metal. The clock jumped. 3:30 a.m. Noah's voice shook. "How much longer?" The voice paused. "Until 5 a.m., it said. "If you maintain control." The lights went out. Complete darkness. Something smashed into the glass window. The sound was loud and close. Red emergency lights turned on. An animatronic face was pressed against the glass. Its smile was wider than the others. Its blue eyes stared straight at Mark. Mark screamed. The lights switch snapped down. Mark threw his whole body against it. The lights burst back on. The animatronic froze inches from the glass. The clock changed again. 4:15 a.m. The voice sounded broken now. "You are almost finished." The door behind them exploded inward. Metal flew across the room. 2 animatronics stepped inside the control room. Their eyes locked onto Ava. Tyler grabbed a chair and threw it. It bounced off one animatronic and fell uselessly. The animatronics kept walking. All 3 switches dropped at once. Everything went dark. Ava screamed. Mark felt cold metal grab his arm. "Let go!" he shouted. He pulled free and lunged forward, slamming both hands across the control panel. Every switch snapped up. The room exploded in blinding blue light. Every animatronic froze. Mid-step. Mid-reach. Mid-grab. The screens flickered wildly. The clock glitched. 4:58 a.m. 4:59 a.m. Silence filled the building. Then, 5 a.m. A loud bell rang through every hallway. The animatronics collapsed where they stood, crashing to the floor like broken toys. The ones below the glass fell in piles, metal hitting metal. Green exit lights turned on. Unlocked. Mark didn't think. "Now!" They ran. They ran through silent hallways, past frozen faces and dark cameras. Past stages and broken doors and fallen animatronics. They burst through a final door into cold morning air. The sun was rising. Cars passed by. Someone walked their dog. Life went on like nothing had happened. It was January 4th. They collapsed on the sidewalk, shaking, laughing, crying all at once. Behind them, the theater looked normal. Old. Quiet. Closed. Police came later. They said there was no record of a movie. No staff. No cameras. No tickets sold. The posters were gone. That night, Mark lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. His phone buzzed. A message appeared. "Thank you for attending. 5 nights at Freddy's 9. Final night complete." His bedroom light flickered blue. And somewhere, far away, Or maybe very close, Freddy laughed softly. And the screen went dark.